Hi families, this recording is to help you work through Phonics, Unit 1, Lesson 5, the Unit Checkpoint. Here is where you find the checkpoint for Unit 1. You can go to Language Arts Blue, Phonics. You've done a great job of completing all of the lessons for this unit this week, and now it's time to take the test at the end of the unit to be sure that your student has mastered all of the concepts. For this lesson, there are online activities and offline activities. For the offline activities, you will need the following materials. You will need the Phonics Works Lesson Guide Basic Book. The pages for this lesson will be 29 through 31. Your student will also need the Phonics Work Assessment Book, and you will be completing pages 1 through 4 together today. You can pause this recording at any time to gather materials or to go back and review anything that I've covered. Now let's begin this lesson by reviewing Unit 1. In this unit, students are listening for letter sounds and they are using pictures to listen for the beginning and ending sound of the word. And while this unit does not introduce letters yet to match the sound to the letter, that's something that you may want to do as you work through the coming up lessons. We'll practice that in just a moment. Let's begin. Boys and girls, this week you've done a great job listening for lots of new letter sounds. So let's take a look at the picture you see. This is a mouse. What sound do you hear at the beginning of the word mouse? Can you make the sound? That's right. Mouse begins with the sound M. Great job. The sound M matches the letter M. That's the sound that the letter M makes. Mouse starts with M, and this is the letter M. The letter M says M. Great job. Let's try another one. This is a turtle. Boys and girls, what sound does turtle begin with? Can you make that sound? Great job. Turtle begins with the sound T. Do you hear T, T, turtle? You got it. Here is the letter T. We have a capital T and a lowercase t. T makes the sound T, just like you hear in the word turtle. You are doing a great job. Let's try another one. Here is a picture of a nest. Say the word nest. Now tell your learning coach, what sound do you hear at the beginning of nest? If you said N, you got it right. Very good. Here is the letter N. N makes the sound N, just like you hear at the beginning of nest. Great work. Let's keep practicing. Here's a picture of a panda. What sound do you hear at the beginning of panda? That's right. Panda starts with the sound p, panda. And here is the letter P. P makes the sound p, just as in the word panda. You're doing terrific. This is a picture of a hat. All right, boys and girls, tell your learning coach, what sound does hat start with? What do you hear? That's right. Hat starts with a h sound. And this is the letter H. H makes the sound h, just like the word hat. Here is an eagle. What letter sound do you hear at the beginning of eagle? Eagle starts with the sound E. Eagle. Here is the letter E. We have a capital E and a lowercase e. The long sound for the letter E is E. It says its name. Do you hear it? Eagle. Very good. Let's keep practicing. Here is a dog. What sound do you hear at the beginning of the word dog? Tell your learning coach. Dog starts with the sound D. You got it. Very good. And this is the letter D. D makes the sound D, as in dog. Great job. And here is our last picture. This is a picture of an octopus. Can you say octopus? What sound do you hear at the beginning? Octopus starts with the sound ah. Ah, ah, octopus. Do you hear that sound? Very good. And here is the letter O. O makes the sound ah. That's the short sound for the letter O. O says ah, like in ah, ah, octopus. You did awesome, boys and girls. I am so proud of you. You did a wonderful job reviewing your letter sounds that you've learned this week. You're great listeners, listening for all of those sounds at the beginning of the words. Thank you for practicing your letter sounds with me. Now it's time to go online to the online portion of the lesson to complete the unit review activities on the computer. For this part of the lesson, you will open up the lesson, Unit 1, Lesson 5. It's the unit checkpoint on the computer. When it opens, use the arrows at the bottom to navigate your way through the different activities and the instructions on the screen. You will come to the online review portion. Here, you can click on the speaker button. It gives you instructions on how to play this game. It's a great review for practicing those sounds and listening for letter sounds and in the different words. As you play this game, you will want to click the arrow here to navigate through and see the different pictures and listen for the letter sounds. When you complete the first online activity, there is a bingo game that follows that, listening for letter sounds, where you practice more with letter sounds with your student. Please pause this recording as you complete those activities online, and then come back to the recording, and then I will walk you through the remainder of the lesson. Now, learning coaches, let's take a look at the lesson guide. You've completed your online review with your student, and now it's time to do the offline unit checkpoint. Now, learning coaches, let's take a look at the lesson guide. This is found in the lesson guide on page 29. At the top, it shows where you've completed your online review, and now it's time for our offline unit checkpoint. Underneath, you see the objectives for our lesson. This is just explaining that your student is identifying and using the different letter sounds that you've practiced this week. Students are also beginning to learn and identify beginning, middle, and ending sounds in words. Okay, learning coaches, go ahead and turn to page 30 in the lesson guide. Here is the beginning of the instructions that you will need to give your student unit checkpoint for Unit 1. Here it explains the different activities that your student will do as a part of the Unit 1 checkpoint. The first one is a coloring activity. Then there's matching pictures with the same sound. And then part 3 is a listening activity. And I'll explain each one of those as we go through. So in addition to having the lesson guide with the instructions that we just looked at, remember you will also need the assessment workbook for your student so that they can complete their work as you're doing the instructions for them. So this is the first page. It's the first one in the book, page 1. You'll see the picture of the train. You'll work with your student and give them the directions of coloring the beginning car black, the middle car yellow, and the ending car red. And so just follow the instructions with that activity. For the second page that your student will be completing as a part of the unit checkpoint, we see several pictures on this page. It's on page 2. tell them the pictures. I would go right down the line. We see pumpkin, tent, dog, mittens, tub, map, pig, and door. Have your student draw a line to connect the pictures that begin with the same sound. Of course, you may need to take a little more time and go through it a little more slowly with your student as you complete this work together. Now, part 3 and 4 of the unit checkpoint are listening activities. You want to follow the directions in the lesson guide for giving your student this assessment. They will be listening for beginning sounds and ending sounds. For each of these activities, you do have a page in the assessment book, but it's not for your student to write the answers. You can document their responses there, but they do not have to write down those beginning and ending sounds for those. Remember, this is just a listening activity. You can pause this recording to complete all of the offline activities with this unit checkpoint. Now that you've completed the offline activities, it's time to go back to the online lesson in the OLS and finish up there. In the online lesson for Unit 1, Lesson 5, there are more activities for review if needed based on how your student did with the unit checkpoint. You will also need to enter your scores for the unit assessment. Now that you have finished with this lesson, be sure and mark the lesson as complete and enter your attendance. You did a great job today. Thanks for watching.